In your book, you mentioned KPIs. What is that?
So KPIs are key performance indicators. They're specific measurements that tell us we're doing a good job with this thing or we're not doing a good job with this thing. And most companies can take their entire operation and break it down to a handful. I don't, it's different for everybody, but a handful of key performance indicators. For many companies, the percentage of calls that they do that are warranty work. So if you're an HVAC company and you run 100 calls and 27 of those are warranty calls, that would not be a good KPI. Companies would have an idea like this threshold is good, above that threshold or below that threshold is not good. Same could be with close rates for sales. Same could be with employee turnover, inventory turnovers or inventory turns. For people who have a lot of inventory, those are key performance indicators.
So, what do you do with that information?
So what I would recommend for folks is you have your goal and you have your SMART objective, and then you would develop KPIs, key performance indicators, that tell us either we do this thing or we do not do this thing, or they might be KPIs that are relevant or correlated to the actions we would take to achieve that SMART objective. In any case, we're going to have these measurables that tell us we're either doing the right thing and getting the outcomes we want or we're not. And I always recommend for folks to take these top handful of things that really matter. And again, every company is going to have a handful. Take these things that really matter and publish them somewhere where everybody can see them. Even if uh, we have a sales thing where we say, okay, Johnny did X amount in sales and Sally did X amount and Timmy did this amount and Jane did this amount, and we put their names on it. I know that's not super popular nowadays for some folks. I still think it's great. And you may, for your culture, decide that's not for you, and that's okay. I've noticed though that people always gravitate to see how they did. We still all want to know how we're doing. If we know the goal and those things are published, we do want to go see if we're hitting the goal or not. And it's super obvious to see how performance improves, even if you do nothing but just post the numbers and don't even talk about it ever. Some people you'll see will rush as soon as, like, if you publish them every Tuesday at noon, they will rush over there and make sure that you can see them looking at it. Some folks wait until they think nobody's looking. And then they scurry over and look when they think nobody's looking. In almost all cases, though, people want to see how they're doing because I think in most cases people want to do a good job. And if you have people on your staff who you don't think want to do a good job, they need to go work for brand X. So in my mind, to the degree we can, we should always have people we think want to do a good job. With these KPIs posted, though, it just elevates this. First of all, lets them know these things really matter. It matters enough for us to take up our space and publish these things. We are going to be consistent about publishing them. So it doesn't do nearly as good a job to, you could talk about key performance indicators like 92% sales close rate, let's say. You could talk about that every day, every morning at 8 o'clock at a sales meeting and talk about 92%, 92%. If you never posted the KPIs and see how we actually did, I would argue people would care less than if you didn't talk about it every day and you did publish the numbers, because people want to see how they're doing. They want to see if what they're doing is working.
So, there's an element of accountability that you.
Absolutely, 100%. There's accountability. There's a team part of it. Like, how's the team doing? Yes, as an individual, I'm doing this, but as a team, are we moving in the right direction? People want to work for a winning company. They do not want to work for a losing company. And people want to work for people who want to make improvements. So if you don't show them that we are either doing the things we say we want to do really well, or we're making strides to getting better, what are they part of?
So, do you think the reward of like the company pizza party versus the individual bonus or whatever is more effective for that team mentality?
Depends on your culture for sure. Um, I I think the pizza party doesn't have nearly the weight that we would like to think it does.
Sure.
I think that if you ask employers to rate pizza party effective or efficacy on a scale of 1 to 100 employees, you would get dramatically different numbers, I would estimate. So in general, pizza parties just, I don't think, carry the weight that we would like. I think it matters to figure out what drives your people. People are generally driven by four things: recognition, winning, being right, and being liked. Now, if you have 30 employees, they're not all going to fit in one category for sure. So it's really hard to say what would motivate a team of people. Generally, though, if you publish these KPIs consistently, so if you say you're going to publish it every day, every Tuesday at noon, and you do, They will know you're serious about this. They will pay attention. It might not happen overnight, but it will happen. Also, if you post it, it has a whole different meaning if you just send an email out with the results every Tuesday at noon. Completely different context. It's even though everybody's getting the same email versus it's on the wall. I don't know. I can't necessarily can't explain that, but there is a dramatic difference based on what I've seen in performance. If you post how many, if we care about warranty calls, how many did Johnny get this month? How many did Sally get? How many does Jane get? There's a different level of participation.
Report card on the fridge.
It's kind of the report card element. It's kind of the team element. It's kind of this is serious, and these are the metrics we're going to measure ourselves as a company about. So you can kind of put the other minutia aside and focus on these handful of things. That helps, I believe. I think a lot of it's just consistency from the business owner, which is something we struggle with because we have 48 things to worry about every day. And we can say, no matter what I got going on, these key metrics run the company. No matter what fires I got to put out, these are the things I got to focus on. And that sets the tone for everybody. And they will do the same. At the end of the day, I got 48 things to worry about, just like the owner does. They're different 48 things, but me as Johnny, the service technician, I have 48 things a day to worry about too. No matter what, I'm going to focus on these things.